The woman frantically tore the manga in her hands into pieces, but unexpectedly, the fragments traveled through time. They drifted through a crack in the door and floated into her classmate's bedroom 6 years in the past. The woman had been praised as a genius manga artist since childhood, but when she saw her classmate's manga, her pride was completely shattered. From then on, she gave up drawing and returned to the life of an ordinary person. However, her teacher asked her to deliver a graduation certificate to that classmate. When she arrived at her classmate's house, she picked up a 4-panel comic that was lying on the floor. She drew all kinds of mocking remarks about her classmate on it. Some people in the comic shouted for her to come out, others shouted for her not to come out, and in the end, the classmate who had won the championship had already become a pile of bones. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew the comic into her classmate's bedroom. Seeing this, the girl quickly ran away from the house. However, her classmate chased after her at full speed. It turned out that the classmate had been her fan since childhood. In the end, the girl left her autograph on her classmate's clothes. The girl also picked up her pen again, but this time, there was another familiar figure by her side. The two of them immersed themselves in the world of manga. In just 1 year, their work won the championship in a manga contest as middle school manga artists. After that, the two of them traveled to many places together. They also created many excellent works. They left behind countless beautiful memories. Then the publisher hoped that the two of them could start a long serialization. The girl was immediately very happy, but her classmate refused, because she wanted to go to college to continue her studies. The girl tried to persuade her to stay, but she still could not change her classmate's mind. In the end, the girl returned to living alone again. But one day, she suddenly heard that an accident had happened at the university her classmate attended. She hurriedly picked up the phone and called her classmate, but no one ever answered. At that moment, her mother suddenly called, and she heard the news she least wanted to hear. In the end, her classmate's smile was forever frozen in a memorial photo. She picked up the manga they had created together. She could not help flipping through the pages. Suddenly, she found the 4-panel comic from back then. The next second, she collapsed to her knees. If she had not drawn that comic back then, her classmate would not have suffered all of this. She tore the manga in her hands into pieces, but unexpectedly, the fragments traveled through time. They slipped through the crack in the door and into her classmate's room. Only this time, the fragments had the words, "Don't come out," written on them. The entire world seemed to change in a subtle way. But her classmate did not give up her dream of drawing manga. Many years later, she still entered that university to study. She still encountered that mentally unstable man. The man angrily shouted at her. Then he raised his weapon and swung it at her. At the critical moment, the girl appeared just in time. With one kick, she sent the man flying. She successfully subdued him. It turned out that in this timeline, the girl had learned karate. Seeing this, the classmate hoped to get the girl's contact information, but she was surprised to discover that the girl was actually the idol she had admired in the past. The two of them formed a bond once again in this timeline. The classmate returned home. She drew a manga about being saved that day. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew by. The manga drifted through the crack in the door and outside. It arrived in front of the girl who had just lost her best friend. Looking at the manga in her hands, the girl stared at that door in disbelief. It felt as if her classmate was right on the other side of it. She slowly opened the door, but the miracle did not happen. Inside the door, there were only piles of manga stacked like mountains. When she turned around, the girl noticed the shirt she had once signed for her classmate. At that moment, it was hanging on the door.